It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish 365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach of Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything that has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
Welcome into Irish 365, episode 15. Woo! It's the bye week.
Bye week. And how did Notre Dame do against the bye week?
I mean,
we crushed it.
I think we did.
Well, we crushed bye week.
I think we did.
No loss on the bye week. In fact, we'll get into it a little bit. We won the bye week for sure. So,
glad we didn't play on the road this weekend. I'll tell you that, because a lot of teams are struggling on the road this weekend in college football.
Yes, good weekend for us to be off. And I mean, we needed it. I mean, we're banged up.
Yeah.
The bye week came at a good time for us to get healthy. And then we'll be going into the Stanford game. Hopefully, there's some injuries I think are going to be season long. We'll get an update on a couple of guys from the Louisville game tomorrow. Traore. Hopefully he's going to be able to get back on the field. It's not season ending for him. He was on the rise, but we'll see. So anyway, what we do with our bye week, I guess, we started off as the Irish 365 group saying we got to focus on some other sports and get some activities scheduled. So we've secured some additional basketball tickets.
Yeah.
So
we've already had one basketball game, which is happened to be in our hometown, Fort Wayne. So we had that already planned out, scheduled. We're going to that one end of this month, which is crazy that college basketball season's right there. But single game tickets and ticket packages went on sale this week for men's and women's basketball. Hockey went on sale a couple weeks back.
Yeah, hockey's been on sale.
Yeah, but we got an ACC 3-game pack.
Yes.
On Saturday, or weekend pack, basically.
Weekend pack, yeah. So we got secured ourselves tickets for 3 games. We're going to go see Louisville, Syracuse, and North Carolina.
Yeah.
At Parcell.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And they're all Saturday games.
Louisville, I think Sunday.
Or Louisville might be the Sunday game.
Yep.
That's right. And so it's exciting. We've got those 3 games secured. And listen, we like Notre Dame basketball a lot, but we're realist.
Yeah.
We had Coach Bray, I've always said if one of my kids wanted to go play for Coach Bray, I would support that in a heartbeat. I love Mike Bray as a coach, but his style is different than Coach Shrewsbury, and I am over the top on Coach Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
But, with Coach Bray, all we expected was come up with one upset a year.
Yep.
That
beat a team you shouldn't beat.
Beat a team you shouldn't and make the tournament. And he had some runs.
Yeah.
There were some appearances in the Elite Eight, but they were few and far between.
Some people don't like to recognize him, but we went to the Elite Eight twice.
Yeah, and he not a powerhouse. You had to play 3-4 years, getting to learn his system, and then it was all juniors, seniors, and grad students that played. But he was successful because he usually had a mature team. He didn't have the one and dones. And it was something we could enjoy. We can talk about some great basketball games. I'm sure we will when we get into basketball season talk. But I mean, I think it was Pitt where we went and seen like a 5 overtime game, and we were really close to the Notre Dame bench. And Bray is just like cool.
I think it was 5 overtimes. It was
3. Maybe,
I would say Louisville's the only 5 overtime game, and we were not at that one. But I think Pitt went to 3 overtimes.
And we were sitting close enough to the bench we could see Coach Bray, and he just comes back between the second and third overtime, just as relaxed and happy as anybody. I mean, you could just see the coaching masterfulness where he calms down his team in a very tense situation. Says, "Guys, are we having fun? This is great." And it's we're just like free basketball. We love it. So Coach Bray, a lot of interesting stories. We've seen some interesting games. I mean, we can talk about when they knocked off Kentucky just a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was a good time.
There's a good backstory to that. That we can get into later. So we follow the basketball program. Not that we expect them to win national championships. We don't have that standard. But I've been on the Shrewsbury kick since they hired Coach Shrewsbury.
Yeah, I'll get this out there. I think we can be the best team in Indiana.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, who's stopping us?
Butler? No,
I don't think so.
Not Butler. Ball State?
I don't think so.
PFW?
I mean, we'll find out August 31st or October 31st.
They're giant killers. They did knock off IU a couple times. Yeah. So, is there?
I mean, it used to be IPFW, but after the losses, IU made them rebrand to PFW,
That's
which
right.
is Purdue Fort Wayne, not
Yeah,
IU.
they disassociated.
Yeah, that's how bad they beat
because
them.
the rivalry runs deep. Hey, if you don't know anything about Indiana, you have to understand basketball is a religion. It may be the one true religion in Indiana.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thing.
But hey, who has the best recruiting class in the 20? Which
I
we don't
don't-
talk about recruits.
I don't talk about
recruits,
recruiting.
but in 25,
I
just
follow
saying.
recruiting heavily, but yeah, if you,
I mean, we got to shout this one out though. I feel like
Yes,
basketball.
we
we don't have this one very often.
Mike Bray's next to last year had the best recruiting class he ever had with 3 top 100 players,
Yeah.
and I think that class finished 15 or 20.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was the best class Mike Bray ever had. Shrewsbury in year 2, his first full year of really recruiting hard, number 1 class in the country right now.
Yeah, but it won't stand. I'm sure they'll drop to probably. They should be in the top 10. They'll finish.
Well, he's got 4 players committed. He could take a 5th. There's a potential 5th guy he could take that's really high ranked. He's got a guy that's probably a one and done, which has never happened at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
And,
I think we've had Blake Wesley. Is that it?
Blake Wesley was the one and done, and no one expected him to be a one and done.
Yeah, and he went like late 20s. I think 20. I think early 20s.
And they should have had another one, which was the biggest recruiting miss in Mike Bray's era, and that was Ivy.
Yep.
How Mike Bray does not recruit Neil Ivy's son to come to Notre Dame, it's a lot. All he's got to do is go hard after him. And
lived in South Bend.
Yes. It's like, dude, your mom is a Notre Dame legend, and she knows Mike Bray. She trusts Mike Bray. But the kid made the right decision for him. He went down and played for that guy on the west side of the state, and it was a good decision for him because he's doing all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're excited about basketball season. I mean, if you've followed Notre Dame women's basketball, they've been one of the elite programs for the last 20 years. They've had a little bit of a dip, but I love where Coach Ivy is and what she's doing and building the program. They're gonna
and they were a good team last year. They had the injury bug.
They had the injury bug
big time.
Yes.
So I think it'll be interesting. All those girls coming back this year, getting ready for the season. I mean, got to go win the ACC.
Yeah, and so
I think that's always the standard there. Got to win the ACC, and then we'll see what happens in March. Can we make an Elite 8? Can we make a Final 4? Can we go win the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, so if they can stay healthy this year, I think Coach Ivy's going to be a force. And I'm so up. I mean, if you don't follow Notre Dame basketball, and I'm a casual basketball fan. I'm not a diehard by any means. Football's definitely the sport that pulls me the most. I'm more casual and less extreme in all the other sports. But Shrewsbury's going to make me, if he can produce the way he's been successful everywhere. He's a great recruiter. He's a just outstanding individual. There is a Behind the Arc YouTube series that just came out. I don't know if you get a chance to see this yet. It's like a 12-minute video. Go watch it. But in it, 8 of the 12 minutes is talking about just the kids they have coming in. They're going to be freshmen this year or transfers. But there's a 3 or 4 minute section where Shrewsbury in the locker room just being genuine, being real, talking about like how his team grew last year and like what to expect. I mean, I want to run through a brick wall for that guy. It is not quite on par with the Marcus Freeman being announced as head coach where you were pumped up.
Yeah.
But this guy's genuine. He gets it. He cares about his players. And I think one of my favorite comments is in there. He's like, Notre Dame's 4 for 40, but Coach Shrewsbury's for life. And he is. I mean, and if you follow him, one of my coworkers is a huge Purdue basketball fan, and he just cracks up because he loves Coach Shrewsbury, and he's a big fan of Coach Shrewsbury. But he's like, Zach Edey wins, Big Ten, Player of the Year and gets drafted, and Shrewsbury's like they're giving Zach Edey some credit, but like he's being funny and saying, hey, you should have stuck with baseball because that was a criticism of him. And Shrewsbury's got the resume where he's helped guys become one and dones and go to the NBA. He's worked in the NBA, so he's gonna take basketball to another level in Notre Dame.
Which that goes from below average to maybe just slightly above average.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to go far, but
again, the standard was win one game you shouldn't and try and make the tournament.
Yeah.
And there was years I was hoping.
And how long did Mike Bray coach at Notre Dame?
Forever. Like I can remember Mike Bray and Dicker Phelps. I don't remember anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if there was a coach in between.
Yeah.
That's the only 2 guys I can remember in my lifetime at Notre Dame. But we don't expect a lot. And Mike Bray was great because he knew he just had to bring in good athletes, be competitive, and he knew it was a football school.
Yeah.
And I know my role. And I don't know, it's harder. It's been harder during the Bray era, even when the teams were good. Harder to get tickets to see Muffet McGraw's basketball team than it was to see Mike Bray's basketball team. it just there's not a huge support for Notre Dame basketball. A lot more casual fans, but the fan support will go up if the team starts producing on the court. So
and then especially like it's a social media era. Like you have more access to stuff. You have more reasons to like. I think Coach Bray, if he was more in this, like he got a lot of social media attention towards the end of his career when he's in the Hawaiian tournament wearing shorts and his Hawaiian shirt. He's ripping his shirt off. I mean, he got a lot of social media attention. I think Coach Shrewsbury, like the kind of guy he is, will develop a lot more fans that want him to win, want him to be successful. Where I think Coach Bray would have had that, but he wasn't in the social media era like from the beginning.
Yeah, but Bray was an old school throwback of a coach, and he would make it about him and take the pressure off the players. That was kind of his thing. I mean, if the team wasn't playing well, he would fully put himself out there and put the pressure on him, take it off of his team.
Yeah.
And he would do those kind of theatrical things because it would pump his guys up, but he would allow his guys to just be guys because he didn't have superstars. Shrewsbury, it's going to be about the players.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be behind them 100% every step of the way, in their corner, got their back, but he's going to let them be the stars. So it's going to be a different era in Notre Dame basketball. And hey, if you don't follow a basketball team and you're looking for one, I highly recommend you jump on that Irish bandwagon.
You'll be towards the front right now.
There's lots of seats because
lots of availability. That's all right. I'm sure we're gonna be getting some hate from this one about talking about Notre Dame basketball so much from some fans, but that's all right.
Or lack of fans. But
yeah,
this is the Notre Dame bandwagon right now is the red-eye flight from LA to New York.
Yeah.
The plane's only about 30% full because it's just a plane trying to get back from one spot in the country to the other so it can take people back. It's not a full flight. There's plenty of seats left on the bandwagon. Just you got, if you're a Notre Dame football fan, you got plenty of Notre Dame swag.
Yep.
Just jump on the bandwagon now. Become a casual fan. You're going to appreciate. Appreciate it. Being passive and watching.
This year there's definitely going to be growing pains still. Don't expect them to go out and win the ACC.
No.
Which, speaking of, I did see this the other day that was so interesting to me about the ACC basketball tour. I don't know if you've seen this. So with the new expanded ACC, not every team makes the ACC tournament for basketball. Three teams miss it. I think it's the bottom 3 teams.
Okay.
So I think that's the first time, like for a conference tournament, like not every team automatically qualifies.
Yeah,
so that's really interesting.
It used to be everybody made it, and of course, the old Big East tournament, everybody made it, but you had the double play-ins.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you had to be really good to win it.
Which I think is a shame that not every team makes it because, I mean, think about the legendary runs of the UConn. Like, it's like
Kemba Walker, UConn.
Yeah, exactly. And like gets hot and then wins the national championship because they make the auto qualifier. So I think that's a shame that not every team makes it anymore. But also with this expanded time, it's hard to do a 20-team basketball tournament in 4 days or 5 days.
And make it make sense, yeah. So unless you're going to play 2-3 games a day, and that's not it's not ideal.
Yeah.
That's AAU stuff. I mean, and I laugh because we do that with youth sports. The AAU teams will play 12 games in 2 days.
Yeah.
But,
a college team hates playing.
A college team playing back-to-back days.
I was going to say once in 3 days in their regular season, they're complaining.
So yeah, I mean, again, we're realistic. I don't expect an ACC championship this year. I do not expect, maybe we can do well enough to make the tournament.
But would they win 1 or 2 ACC tournament games last year?
Yeah, and I think Shrewsbury's on the rise, and he's not going to build the team through transfer portal. If you're one of those people that don't like the bringing transfer quarterbacks in, Shrewsbury really doesn't want to build the team through transfer portal. He wants to build.
He'll bring in a guy in here and there, but it won't be a.
Yeah, he's not. He wants to bring up guys, develop them because he can develop players. And you're going to see some one and dones, which is not typical for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You might see a grad transfer here and there who's a role player, maybe someone who's been injured or whatever, but it's going to be primarily guys he's going to recruit and play. And we were young last year. I mean, at one point he had 2 or 3 returning starters from the previous year. There was a joke that he was going to have to actually take the bookstore basketball champion and make that a starting 5.
Yeah.
And, I'm still not convinced that Riley Leonard shouldn't go over and play some basketball. I mean, there may be a place for him to do the Buckner or face-on thing and go win some games somewhere else too.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Riley Leonard was much better before the injury at Louisville, so I'm going to hold off my criticism. It's a bye week. We're going to give him a week off.
Yeah, we're not calling anybody out today.
No, there is.
We're not doing the do your job.
There's no Tommy
Rees.
No Tommy Rees coaching call out.
Yeah,
that's not what we're calling it.
That's our segment.
That's
the Tommy Rees coaching call out.
Yes. So
tune in next week and maybe you'll find one.
Okay. Yeah,
hopefully we don't need one
after Stanford. Hopefully not.
You don't want to be on that one. You don't want
Yeah.
to be the first official. Reese, do your job.
So yeah,
Coach,
so
call up.
we secured some tickets to basketball. We secured a ticket to hockey. Go see Michigan.
Oh yeah,
Notre Dame
we
at
didn't talk
Michigan.
about hockey.
We didn't
yet.
talk about man. The Compton Ice Arena is just go. Go see a hockey game. If you like hockey a little bit, go see a game there if you get the chance.
Or if you've never been to a hockey game and like seen it on TV and you want to go check it. I mean, it's a good atmosphere. Like that place is sold out more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't pick up tickets early, $100 for a hockey ticket is not.
We weren't like we were talking about going late last year, and we were looking on the resale market and it was sold out. I'm like, man, like we're real. Like if we say we're casual basketball fans, we're really casual fans about the hockey team. Like,
I mean, we'll watch them on TV.
Like, it's on. Yeah, we'll turn it on.
But we're not diehard by any means.
No, I couldn't name anyone on the team, but no.
But we have never had a bad time at a hockey game.
It's what we've been to 3, 4. Like at Compton, I'm thinking we went some back when it was at the Joyce too.
Yeah. But Compton seats, I guess, say 4,000 maybe.
Yeah.
It's not big.
It's a tiny barn.
Yeah, but it is an electric atmosphere. I mean, they'll have the band there. They'll have a small student section.
Yeah, if you're going to your first one, try to time it up where it's not over the students' fall break, though. It does add to the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's easier to
Christmas break, I mean.
Yeah, it's easier to get tickets over the Christmas break because the students aren't there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can go and they're usually 3-game series. You know, it's usually a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. If you do it really well, because I know we've done this where I think there was one weekend we went a couple years ago where we had
two basketball
games and a hockey game on a Saturday, Sunday kind of a thing. I think we went and saw hockey early, then a basketball game late, and then we seen basketball at like noon, and then went and watched hockey at like 6 o'clock, and then spent the night, and then went to the basketball. Like it was men's basketball, hockey, then women's basketball the next day at like noon. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I laughed because it was one of those things where the men's basketball tickets were easy to get, and we were down low, and the women's game was almost sold out. And this is when McGraw was there, and like almost the arena sold out of season tickets. It was hard to get seats for women's basketball. So yeah, you can make a good weekend out of it, catch a couple different sports going on at the same time. So give you something to do. But yeah, go see a hockey match because those are freaking electric.
Yeah, they're a good time.
And I've been watching hockey casually for, I don't know, 30 years now.
Yeah.
I still don't know all the rules. I know offsides.
I've gotten better.
And I know everything else is just a penalty.
My stats job, I got a lot better.
Okay.
I got a lot better. I think I'm on the up and up with the hockey rules.
And
I got icing down now.
Yeah. I gotta say, I had a good friend who was really involved with the local professional hockey team here in Fort Wayne. And he said, listen, there's just 2 rules. Everything else is a penalty. That's all you need to do. and it seems about right.
Yeah.
It's like icing, offsides, and penalties.
Yeah, I've got them down.
5 for fighting. I do know that. So yeah, what else did we do with our bye week? I guess I got to attend a wedding.
Yeah.
So, and that was good. It was a Catholic wedding, so it was heavily populated with Notre Dame fans.
Yeah.
Which we had the conversation, and we haven't had the full conversation about, do you schedule a wedding during football season? Carter and I are in the belief that that's a no, unless it's a bye week. That's the only acceptable time.
Hard to plan those bye weeks out,
but not everybody is a Notre Dame fan to the level we are. We get it. But yeah, so we're at a wedding. It was a bye week wedding, and it was clear. I knew the father of the groom was a Notre Dame fan, and I didn't know how much influence he had because we all know in these situations it's the bride who makes the majority of the decision, and a good groom just goes along with it.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
That's right. I support you 100%. But it turns out the father of the bride was a very large Notre Dame fan. In fact, so much so that during the prayer before the meal, he says, and thank you, God, that this was a Notre Dame bye week. And it was like, yes, okay, this guy gets it. So I had a lot of good conversation. A few people at the wedding have heard or watched some of the podcasts.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. You know, we were out on the dance floor and everybody's, having a good time and, just enjoying it. And it was a great venue. It turns out, I think I'd never been to the place before, but it was the uncle of the bride that owned the place.
Huh?
And it was a former golf course that had closed down. And like he had the clubhouse and a big outdoor area, and there was a putting green and a couple ponds. It was like and weather was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures.
It was just perfect. It was like it's a really great venue.
Yeah.
So yeah, kudos to.
It's probably so great because it was a bye week.
It was a bye week. That made it just a little better. So yeah, that's kind of how I spent my Saturday.
Yeah.
Securing tickets for some other sports and attending a wedding that was a really nice wedding and a really nice. And so Tyler, Sabrina, congrats. May you be blessed and have Irish wins every anniversary from here on out.
True that.
Unless it's a bye week.
So
what'd you do with your bye week day?
I went and checked out some of my students playing in a championship game yesterday. 7th and 8th grade football championship game yesterday. Worked out really well for me. They kept asking me to be at games all year, and I've been out of town traveling with Notre Dame stuff. So I'm like, I'll get the one. It's happened to work out. Championship game.
So they won.
Hey, they got an overtime win yesterday. It was an exciting time.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no. There we go.
There we go.
Nice job. 7th.
There we go. So, yeah.
Way to get the win. So, yeah, that was exciting. Good to go see them yesterday. Get the win. I mean, can't beat that. And then, rest of the day, I was kind of first time I've obviously seen some of the bigger games, 7:30 games at night. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch college football most of the day. So that was exciting to really see some of the teams play for the first time.
Yeah, because normally we've attended the home games.
Yeah.
But we've not attended the away games, maybe one here, or there. But on away game week, we watch the Irish play at whatever time, and then we're
watching
other games.
Yeah.
Just seeing what's going on in the college football world. So yeah, had a chance to do that a little bit.
But yeah, with the 3:30 kicks, it's we're traveling, we're kind of watching the noon games, watching the noon scores. You're in and out of service, all this stuff, and it's you're there before the game, and then you're not seeing any of the 3:30 slate because you're at the game.
Yeah. So I mean, you texted me Alabama is down with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I'm scrambling to get it on my phone.
SEC Network too. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's a tough bowl right there.
So fortunately, private messages, and we'll tell you what service we use.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I was able, because of the streaming service we do use, I was able to get the SEC Network.
Yeah.
I've got it up on the phone, and it was the dinner was finishing up. The dancing hadn't started yet. And I had a group of gentlemen standing around me with my phone, and we were watching the glory that was Vanderbilt versus Alabama. And I think I sent you the text I saw last night on social media, the T-shirt, I survived 40-year Alabama winless drought.
Yeah.
So
I mean, congratulations, Vanderbilt, right there. You survived. You did it. We didn't believe in you. I'll tell you that. I don't know if you believed in you. Good job.
Yeah. So hey, Coach Clark Lee. We'll go back into that. We'll come back into that. But yeah, so congratulations to the little Knights winning the CYO championship yesterday. You'll have a lot of high fives to give out on Monday, I'm sure.
Yep, shout out. Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about other football though. Let's just go back and talk about our opponents that are ranked in the top 25.
Yeah.
Because there's a big win yesterday by A&M. Number 25 A&M knocks off number 9 Mizzou.
Missouri.
Or Missouri. I'm sorry.
Misery, as I like to call them.
Missouri. So yeah, let's go through look at this graphic. Huh?
Oh man.
Do you see this?
Wow.
Oh wait. Do you see this
I see
graphic right there? I got it.
There.
Yeah, I got it right there. This is the ESPN.
I can't do it.
AP poll and other way. There you go. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, so A&M big win over Missouri.
Yep. Misery.
And I was afraid they
were in misery yesterday.
I was afraid they were going to get desperate and they were going to call in the backup quarterback, Drew Pine. And
Missouri.
It was going to be Pine time.
I thought A&M was going to have one out for him.
And he was going to lead him to victory, but no. A&M stomped him.
It was a beatdown.
Yeah. So again,
in College Station, noon kickoff. Yeah.
And it was all A&M, not even close, which is great for Irish on two fronts. One, it takes a team that's ranked ahead of us in the polls.
Yeah.
And it's going to put them behind us.
Yep.
And two, it takes that win against A&M, and it's aging like a fine wine. It's just looking at it.
I don't know if you saw this tweet. Did you see this yesterday? Notre Dame's win versus Texas A&M is aging like fine wine.
Oh.
That loss against NIU is aging like fine milk.
Yeah. That is so true.
I was like, I don't know if you could say it any better than that. So when you brought up fine wine, I wasn't sure if you saw that one.
I did not see that tweet, but
and they did put fine milk, so that did crack me up.
That's even better than what I said. So we had that, which I think is a huge plus. So that's just another way Notre Dame football won the bye week.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a setback with Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville took a back-to-back loss yesterday. Jacoby Brooks, though, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's the man. He's the man. Impressed with him.
I am bought in on him. I was joking around with you yesterday.
Yeah.
He's the guy that somehow ended up on the Kansas City Chiefs next year.
He will.
somehow, some way. I'm like, what?
Caden is a Chiefs fan. He'll be thrilled.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to somehow find his way to the Kansas City Chiefs.
But buy stock in that guy. That dude is electric.
Yeah,
he's good.
Mark him down as a future fantasy pick. That's all I'm saying.
Especially in any of those. I hope that my friends listen to this. Those dynasty leagues.
Yeah, don't let your friends.
Don't want it.
If you're in a dynasty league with Carter, just stop listening for the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, no kid.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Louisville, but it was a close game. I mean,
it was a 7-point game. Sucks it was at home, but I think we are both talking about this. How weird was it seeing Louisville with those gold jerseys yesterday? I mean, it was
the gold numbers on the red Louisville.
And then so it was for Muhammad Ali, so cool, like that was cool tribute or whatever. But then it was just cracking us up because it's like Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it's pink. So the cheerleaders had the pink pom poms going in the background, and Louisville was wearing like the gold jersey, gold
numbers, and just
so it's like how many alternate colors are going to bring out today, Louisville?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just usually like I just think Notre Dame, like when Notre Dame does the green, like Irish wear green, cheerleaders are green, like everyone's green, everyone's bought into the green. So it's just funny, like Louisville's doing this gold theme for the game, and it's like the cheerleaders got a completely different non-school color like going. So that's cracking me up.
But it was a little bit of
like I get it, but it was just like we got to have some school like togetherness here. At the same time.
The marketing department's got to work things out, I guess. But the good thing about the Louisville loss, or I guess the potentially good thing, is it could catapult a future Notre Dame opponent into the top 25.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, SMU or Navy is probably going to make that 25th spot.
Yeah.
I think Louisville's going to fall in the top 25, which is bad.
Because they're 22?
They're 22.
Yeah.
In the AP. I don't, and I talk AP typically. I don't talk the coaches poll because coaches polls, they get a little wonky. It's some assistant or some grad student filling out the poll, and bias gets involved, or the AP I feel is a little more
still some bias,
stable.
But but just a reminder, I think it's after the Navy game, though, is the first official college football playoff ranking. So that's the one that really matters. Like these truthfully mean, I don't want to say nothing because they're a good base.
They're an indicator.
Yeah. Like you don't want to be, you're not sitting outside the AP top 25 right now. And if the college football rankings come out, you're not like, I think we're going to be in that top 12.
No,
like,
if you're not in the top 15, 20 of the AP or the coaches poll, you're not going to be in the top 15 of the playoff poll. It's just,
you're going to see some difference in that top 10. Like they'll rank someone differently who they think, which is cool.
The order will be different.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the same teams.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think SMU has a good chance because they beat Louisville, being able to jump into the top 25. But Navy is electric right now.
Here, I got this. No, just, I mean, we got to hype both these teams up. We play them both this year, Navy and Army.
Yes. Service academies.
5-0, both. So they're combined 10-0 for the first time since 1945.
Wow. Yeah, and we went into the preseason thinking those were two games that are.
I went back and I looked and we're like, these like we're talking about Navy, and we're like, they could be 4-1, 5-1, like coming into the Irish, and it was like they've got a chance. But I mean, I don't think both of us were like, oh, they're gonna be undefeated. Like we're gonna see a ranked. I mean, we were like, we could be facing a good Navy team, but. Yeah. They've even surprised us with our high mark on them.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to come in, and again, I hope Navy is ranked.
That'd be great.
We were texting back and forth yesterday, and it's like there's a probability that Army Navy game. Like, I hope both those teams go into that with one loss.
Yeah,
I think you said it. Like they could literally go in there with one loss to Notre Dame.
They could, December 14th. So if you don't know, like that's the only game on that day.
Yes,
like college football playoff ranking coming out. I think the Heisman's that Saturday, like that night, is the Heisman, and then Sunday is the rankings.
And who's the leading candidate for the Heisman this year?
Boise State quarterback, I know,
believe,
which is just madness. This year is awesome. Year, right? So yeah, but legitimately, like that Army Navy game, if they both go in with one loss to Notre Dame, or is that that could be the most watched? That game has so much ratings because it's the only football game on that.
It's the only game on.
Or college football game.
It's the only college football game on. It's Army versus Navy. So it's got a lot of just rivalry history from that standpoint. But if both those teams go in there with one loss against Notre Dame, like that game could be for the team that makes the
non-power four.
That group of 5 spot in the college football ranking.
Like,
it could be that. It could be, it'll be an awesome. I've always wanted to go see that game. Now I want to go see that game this year.
Oh my gosh, those tickets are going to be. I mean, they're already insane. But
it's impossible. It's almost impossible to get tickets to that game unless you have the right connections, right? But it's so that's exciting, and we're a
long way from that.
I love the Army guys, but I'm always going to root for Navy just because of the loyalty from the Notre Dame side. But yeah, that's exciting. Like, don't want to project too far. Naval Academy, one game at a time. Army, one game at a time.
You're both going to lose in New York or New Jersey at some point. So.
You're going to lose to the Irish, I do believe, but you're going to give us a heck of a game, both of you. And yeah, they got great things happening at those two service academies. So,
and that's not. I mean, props to both teams because that's not an easy place to win. Like, you're not on like everyone's on scholarship, but like you're like football players, like you're not treated any differently. You're doing the same stuff everyone else is doing. Like that's freaking awesome.
I have a good friend that I went to Notre Dame with who did attend West Point.
Yeah.
And he will tell you the only special treatment the football team gets is they get double portions on their meals.
Yeah.
So, like, especially the linemen, they get double portions. But other than that, they're in the mix just like everybody else. They've got responsibility and leadership to learn. And, and again, anybody I know who's attended a military academy that I've had the pleasure of getting to know or work with or spend time with, some of the most outstanding people. Just tons of respect. I've not met
always good interactions when they've came to Notre Dame, like with fans or
I mean they support the academy. They want to win, but just nothing but respect. I mean, just nothing but respect for those young men.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's exciting. That's crazy exciting. So I'm hoping Navy makes the jump. I'm afraid it's going to be SMU, but I'm hoping Navy makes a jump into that 25th, 24th spot. So then we got to look ahead of like Notre Dame, and this is why we won the bye week. We talked about it a little bit. So, if we look at us in the AP poll and we're sitting at 14, then you go right ahead of us at 13 is LSU.
Yep.
Didn't play.
Yep.
Right. And then you got Ole Miss at 12.
Yep.
And they won.
Yep.
Then you got USC at 11.
Which this one, it's great, but it sucks at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the good thing is it's going to move us up in the pool.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna jump up a spot, because I think USC is going to fall behind us. So that's moving us from 14 to 13 right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a double-edged sword because I want to beat USC
when they're ranked in that.
When they're ranked, that just strength of schedule kind of a thing.
And schedule's not getting easier for USC. We'll get in that in a minute. But.
Yeah. So you go into USC, and then you jump ahead of that and you go to Michigan loss.
Now that one we can all get behind.
Yeah.
2 lost Michigan already.
Yeah. So Michigan's going to drop. I mean, they're going to definitely fall below us. So now we went from 14 to 13. Now all of a sudden we're 12.
Yeah.
Wait, the top 12 teams make the playoff?
Yeah.
Well, really the top 11 because that group of 5 team just has to be in the top 25.
Yeah. Highest ranked top 25.
So we need to guarantee our spot in the playoff, we need to be in the top 11.
Basically, yeah.
So we're not quite there yet, but we're on the bubble now.
Yeah.
We should be at 12. But wait a minute, who's ahead of Mizzou? Or who has Michigan?
Misery,
right? And Misery lost to A&M.
Yeah.
The team that we beat. They're
same spot. They're both at A&M too.
I think they've got to be dropping to
behind us.
20?
Nah, I don't know if they dropped to 20.
Like
they'll drop 15, 16.
Well, A&M's going to come up, and I mean A&M's going to be like
it'll be interesting. That's what I always am interested with. So obviously A&M beats this team, but is this team going to fall back so far? And is A&M at that 25 spot? Are they going to jump? That's the interesting part.
Well, A&M's got 1 loss to us.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying that's always the interesting part, though, in these polls. Like, okay, this team just beat this team. Are they going to jump them in the polls?
And we should be at 11 at this point.
Yeah.
So I think we're 11. A&M is probably 12 or 13.
No, okay. No, that won't.
It was a close game.
I know. A&M won't jump from 25 to 12 in 1 week.
I think they'll be top 15.
I can say 15. That's 10 spots right there, 15.
Yeah. So I think they're 15.
And you got to remember, if you're listening to this, rankings probably already came out. We're recording this.
Yeah, that's true.
Just remember this.
I expect
we're arguing about it, so you know who's right.
I expect A&M to probably be no less than 15, and Mizzou to be 16 to 20.
Okay.
But you got to move you got to move Mizzou down behind A&M. If you move A&M up
that's
to
what you're
22,
saying, but it's always funny when they don't do it.
I know, but that wasn't a close game.
I agree.
It wasn't a close game. So I think the Irish, we're ahead. Like we're at 11 at this point.
Oh yeah, we're at 11.
Which, we talked about it after NIU. The playoffs started for us the week after NIU. We just got to win every week. Because I think if we lose, we're out of the playoffs. Yeah. So we just got to win every week. So, but we're in a great spot right now.
And we also didn't talk about, we're not going to jump these teams, but Tennessee losing to Arkansas yesterday too.
Yeah, I don't think Tennessee falls behind.
They were 4, so yeah, they're not dropping all the way. outside of the top 10. On the road loss in the SEC, they'll get a lot of credit. Bama at 1, though, definitely going to drop down probably to that 4 to 5 range.
Yeah.
The loss at Vanderbilt.
So you got Georgia at 5.
Yeah.
Right. So
where is Bama going to drop 4?
Well, this gets interesting. You can't. Do you drop Bama to 4? Because
I think Bama will drop.
I think Bama drops to 3 because I think Texas goes 1, Ohio State goes 2, Tennessee was at 4 is going to drop behind Georgia. Bama's not going to drop behind Georgia.
Well,
are they? I mean, it was an epic game and they won it.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see
at Bama.
I think Bama falls 3, Georgia ends up 4. Like, be my guess. And
what about Oregon's still undefeated there? I think it's 6.
But Oregon's behind Georgia. Are you going to jump Oregon ahead of Georgia?
I'm just saying, I don't know. That'd be interesting. And yeah.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. I mean,
and like we said, these rankings mean literally nothing right now because the college football playoff committee hasn't put theirs out.
The order will get shuffled around a couple dozen times. But yeah, I think Bama only falls to 3 despite the loss. But it'll be interesting. And then, you talk about the SEC, and did we cover who the team is at the top of the SEC standings?
I don't think we did yet.
Like, Texas A&M is 3-0 in the SEC.
Yeah.
Texas is 1-0 and LSU is 1-0. Everybody else in the SEC has at least 1 loss.
Yeah.
So
an SEC opponent loss.
Yes. So how crazy is it if somehow our friend at A&M find a way to win the SEC this year?
Still early.
I know.
And they've got a gauntlet.
It's not getting easier for them, but it's just crazy to say that, we beat the team leading the SEC conference right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a crazy mix. I can't wait till this afternoon. I mean, this podcast will maybe be up Sunday afternoon, and I can't wait to see what the rankings look like because it's going to be interesting.
So right now you got Notre Dame sitting at 11. Like, is what our guess is for this.
Yeah.
Next week you got Penn State versus USC. Which, that's going to be a big game. That's like USC's got to win that one. I believe it's at SC too.
Yeah, USC is going to be probably 15.
Yeah, that would be my guess. They got to be in there. I mean, they lost to an unranked
15. They may be 14.
They lost to an unranked Minnesota team.
Yeah, they're going to be top 20 for sure. But Penn State should be.
Penn State's 7 right now, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean,
7.
they might be
5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably move up 1. I bet they'll be in front of
Tennessee will fall behind them. Alabama won't. So they'll probably be up 6.
So, but I mean, that's a huge game. I mean, USC, for so many reasons, we need them to win that game.
We want USC to beat Penn State.
Because, Penn State knocked them down a few spots. USC gets back up a few spots. And then another one, 2 teams sitting right in front of us. Ole Miss and LSU battle it out next week. So that's a guaranteed up 1 spot no matter what happens next week.
Yeah. And
we're in the top 10, as long as we win.
Yeah. And, man, there's so many reasons to root against both those schools right now as a Notre Dame fan. I know a lot of people hate on Brian Kelly, and they're going to root against LSU because of the Brian Kelly connection.
Yeah.
But, I don't hate on Brian Kelly. I look at what he did at Notre Dame and when he came to us and where we were at as a program, and he got us to a perennial,
top 10 team.
Top 20 team, top 15 team. Like, we weren't there. So a lot of respect for Brian Kelly. I don't like the way he left.
Yeah.
I don't like the excuses he gave because end of the day, it was about the bag more than anything else.
Can't blame someone for taking the money.
And again, yes, is it easier to recruit at LSU than it is at Notre Dame? Yeah. And what he really was saying was, I can recruit the players at LSU that I can recruit at Notre Dame with less effort.
Yeah.
It's just more effort. Marcus Freeman will tell you he's working twice as hard as anybody else to get good players to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
If he was any other school in the country, especially it's a school in the South where the weather and the academic standards for the football team aren't as rigorous and like Marcus Freeman would be the number 1 class year in and year out if he was at any school in the Southeast Conference.
Yeah.
Just hands down because he's such a great recruiter. He's relentless. Brian Kelly wants to recruit, but he doesn't want to recruit hard.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to get his golf game, and he wants to have work-life balance.
Yeah.
And somehow Marcus Freeman finds a work-life balance. You hear about him going to his kid's wrestling event or being with his family. It's like that dude works hard at everything he does. When Brian Kelly left Notre Dame, it wasn't about he can't get the players at Notre Dame. It's he doesn't want to work as hard as he has to get the players at Notre Dame. He felt like going to LSU, he could get the players without working as hard. And that's what it came down to, and a large sum of cash that they threw at him.
Yeah.
And they threw a large sum of cash to him. Because he doesn't have to travel coast to coast, north to south, east to west, and cover 48 states. 49. You got to recruit Hawaii. You don't have to recruit Alaska. I don't know of a Notre Dame player ever from Alaska. I know of Notre Dame students from Alaska, but no players I'm aware of ever came from Alaska. But so yeah, I don't hate on Brian Kelly. But yeah, LSU, Ole Miss. I don't like Lane Kiffin.
There you go.
I just don't. Maybe it's his USC days. I just don't like Lane Kiffin. I do have a soft spot for Charlie Weiss Jr., who's the OC at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I do like that kid. I know his dad was a good, not great coach at Notre Dame. I think if he'd have set up in the box and been an offensive coordinator, we'd love him and we'd celebrate him. But as head coach, he just wasn't a good fit. So yeah, it's exciting because next week we take care of Stanford, and
probably in the top 10.
One of those teams they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in the top 10,
and then the nightcap next week, OSU, Oregon. But I don't see us jumping either of these teams, but I mean another team that's going to add a loss to the resume, which is just better for us.
The only way we jump one of those teams is if that game is just a lopsided blow.
I was going to say, I think the game's at Oregon, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, if Ohio State goes in there and beats them by 60. If you lose at home by,
I mean, if it's 40,
I don't see that happening.
If it's 42-3, but I'd be shocked if it was a blowout.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a high-scoring, high-powered. It'll be an entertaining game.
Yeah, good weekend next weekend for college football.
Yeah. So now we're getting to that point where the schedules are starting to get a little more.
I mean, that's a Big Ten matchup. It's a Big Ten matchup right there. Oregon, Ohio State. Come on now, people, get into it.
That's weird to say, but yeah, it's just.
I mean, okay, I turned USC Minnesota on last night and it was on Big Ten Network. It took me a few minutes to find that game, and I went on my ESPN. I'm like, Big Ten Network, really?
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting into conference play for a lot of the conference teams. It's Catholics versus conferences at this point. I mean, I want one of those shirts now at this point. Gonna have to find the Etsy store that sells them. But yeah, it's interesting, and with us, like we said, we just got to win games. Just win games. Doesn't have to be pretty at this point. Just win games. And I don't care if we got to break out the triple options against Navy to get it done. We may have to break out the triple option against a couple other teams. The offensive line's young; they're beat up. Triple option neutralizes a poor offensive line. We got all kinds of running backs. Riley Leonard's throwing the ball well enough that hey, let's just control the clock. Let's just keep possession to a minimum and not give up scores, because if our defense is banged up a little bit, if we can keep those young guys, off the field, not have to defend. I mean, our backs are good. Our defensive backs are good. Our corners are good. Our safety's good. But yeah, linebacker crew and the line crew, the front seven, they're all banged up a little bit. So we'll see. But we're in a good spot from a Notre Dame football position. Not where I expected. I fully expected us to have beat NIU, be undefeated at this point. We would be sitting in the top 4.
4 or 5.
5. I mean, we were 5 before the NIU loss. So we would definitely be top 4, and we'd be in the catbird seat for first round playoff bye.
So I could be looking at that top 3 even. Especially with this Alabama loss. I mean, Ohio State, Oregon playing this week. I mean,
it doesn't matter whether 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
5.
I mean, we could be getting close to that number 1 going up on.
Grace Hall could be lit up. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it really doesn't matter from the playoff perspective. The best we can do would be the 5 seed. And I just want to be in the top. I just want to be in the top 5. But you know what? Really, I'm okay with the top 7. Hopefully we can find our way into that top 7 spot between now and the end of the season, get that first round playoff bye.
I was going to say, I was scrolling. I subscribed to The Athletic, and I was looking at their projection or whatnot. Like, it was before this weekend, so I'm sure it'll be changed this week. And I sent it to you, and it was like, the projection was like, I forget what seed it was, but it was like, all right, if you first round, you're going on the road to Athens to play Georgia.
I think we were 11 seed, projected to play number 7 seed
Georgia. And then if we won that game, you got the privilege to go play
the number 1 seed.
No, Texas.
Or Texas.
I think it was 2 seed.
They were 2 seed. I thought they were 1 seed.
Yeah, I think it was 2 seed.
It might have been 2 seed. But yeah, it was like, if you're
boy, oh boy, lucky us there, huh?
If you're going to win a national championship and that's the route you take, no one's going to say it.
But it's funny, though. You see these polls, and it's like all these powerhouses on it, and the one group of 5 team. But it's like, we're looking at a situation where it's like, in this first 12-team playoff that's been hyped up, but all these powerhouses playing, it's like, are we going to get an SMU, an Army, a Navy? Like, are we going to see
chaos?
Yeah, just
I would love chaos.
Yeah, it's just how funny would that be to have a few group of 5 teams in there?
Yeah,
I mean, an SMU's an ACC team, so what if they go win the ACC and that's the ACC bye. How funny would that be?
Oh man, if like A&M or SMU somehow won
Yeah.
the SAC, and that was the,
SEC or ACC. Yeah.
like they won their respective conference and they become the automatic bid,
Yeah.
like this non-traditional powerhouse school.
Yeah.
That would be super entertaining. But
Yeah.
we've always hoped for chaos in the BCS. We never got it. The 14 playoff, we hoped for chaos. We never got it.
Yeah.
This 12-team playoff is going to work itself out. The chaos
Yeah.
won't show up, but it's going to be entertaining. I mean, we're in the
Yeah.
thick of now where football season gets entertaining. Every game, every week is going to mean something for the Irish, and there's going to be a lot of non-Notre Dame games that are going to have a huge impact on the landscape of the college football playoff.
Definitely.
So a lot of entertainment in the peripheral as well. So.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to cover?
I don't think so. I think
All
we
right.
covered a lot of our bye week material. We're ready to definitely enjoyed the weekend off.
Yeah.
Getting ready for a nice 3-game stretch before another bye week.
Yeah.
We got some travel coming up. We got Stanford at home.
Yep.
Then we're down to Atlanta for that Georgia Tech game, which will be a really entertaining one. Still have a kickoff time for that. What's that about?
Hopefully Monday we'll have the kickoff.
Hopefully.
And we had intended to fly to that game because we got really cheap flights out of Indianapolis, and then the flight got moved and canceled basically. So now we've got to figure out our travel plans, whether we're going to be driving or flying. And I can't pull a trigger on tickets just yet plane tickets yet because I don't know what the time is.
Yeah.
Like if I get in there at noon and they get kickoffs at noon, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
If the kickoff's at 6 o'clock at night,
And we get in it.
I can get in at noon. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't want to fly out like too early and that kind of thing. So anyway, hopefully we'll have some clarity. But it's a drivable distance for us. It's not
ideal, but not the
ideal.
worst case. Yeah.
We can go down and back in a weekend, and then follow that up with
On
the business trip out to New Jersey.
see at MetLife Stadium versus Navy.
Yeah.
Hopefully a ranked matchup.
Yeah. So we're driving up to Detroit. Got a nonstop from Detroit into Newark. Basically, we're gonna Uber to the stadium, watch a game, Uber back to the airport, catch a flight back. That's a day trip. So we're going to feel like the team, and it'll be interesting. So I'm looking forward to this next 3-game stretch. Then we got a bye week. You got a wedding. I'm going to hopefully sit around and watch some football.
Then we got our night game.
And then a night game. Yeah.
Hey, Florida State covered yesterday. 16 and a half. They lost by 16 against Clemson. So shout out Florida State.
Yeah. What was that about great teams cover?
Yeah, good teams win, great teams cover. So Florida State, are they back? Maybe.
Put them in the top 25.
Clemson's obviously not great.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They couldn't cover.
They couldn't cover. So anyway, it's interesting time for college football season. Get your seat on the Irish basketball bandwagon.
Yep.
If you haven't got one on the women's team, get it. If you haven't got one on the men's team, get it.
Yep.
And start paying attention to hockey. And if you really, really want to get deep in your Irish roots, I saw some stuff on fencing right now. There's some preseason,
and we're going to win it all.
Fencing stuff. And
I don't need to know anybody. We're going to win it all.
National champions is what fencing does.
Yep.
That's all.
They're just great. They wake up and choose greatness every morning.
That's right. They live by Lou Holtz's 3 rules for life.
Yep.
Right? Do you know the 3 rules?
Let's hear it.
All right, I'll give it to you. Number 1, always do the right thing, avoid the wrong thing. Number 2, whatever you do it to the best of your ability.
Yep.
And number 3, care about others.
There you go.
And that's what the fencing team, that's what they do.
Sweet.
They do everything to the best of their ability.
True
they
that.
Win. Foil, I don't even know. I'm going to start talking out. Epi, I'm going to start talking out things.
I think Epi's a pen. Foil, I know it's real, but
yeah, Epi's what you get on an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just know they win. They win Olympic gold medals. They bring it. So.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.